Internationally sought-after speaker and best-selling author Greg Reid was hand-selected by the Napoleon Hill Foundation to carry on the teachings found in the 20th best-selling book of all time, Think and Grow Rich. Now, it's our pleasure to welcome Greg into the ILA community. In these brief segments, Greg welcomes us to his home to share with us powerful insights on maximizing our potential.
The first mentor I ever had in personal development was a guy named Charlie Tremendous Jones, a legend. And he has a great quote. It says, "You are the same today as you'll be in 5 years except for two things: the people you meet and the books you read." It's who you hang out with and what you put in your head that determines your character as a person. How true is that? And I'd like to even take that a step further and understand this, that we are a direct reflection of the 5 people we hang around the most right now. And our attitude, our income, and our lifestyle is the exact average of that group. Think about it. Back in high school, if you hung around the smoking section, who were you? A smoker. If you hung around the jocks, a jock. Well, the same thing applies today. The secret of all success is to simply start associating and hanging out with the people that are getting the results you want. Years ago, I actually did something wild, and it climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, the roof of Africa. And people say, well, how in the world did you go from sea level in La Jolla, California, all the way up there? It was simple, really. I applied the wisdom I'm sharing right now. I got on the internet and I looked up the most successful Sherpa, the people that have climbed and summited 300-400 times. And they're the people I hired. And guess what? Everywhere that they put their boot, I put my boot print the exact same spot. Because I knew they're going to make it to the top. But if I varied off and tried to make my own road, chances are they'd be carrying me down in a body bag. So I was smart enough to learn from my mentors, because we truly are a reflection of those we hang out and associate with. Surround yourself with leaders, and you'll be one too. No matter where I've gone around this world, one thing I found people have in common. Everyone's got a story to tell. And one of my favorite ones of all time came from the most unlikely source, Evander Holyfield. Remember him, the boxing guy? I asked him, I said, Evander, what makes you so special? How did you win more heavyweight championships than anyone else in history? And he said, that's easy. I have a higher standard. And I said, what do you mean? He says, if you have a car and you will not tolerate it running bad or being dirty, you have a higher standard, chances are you have a better car than your next door neighbor. He goes, in sports, I showed up early, I left late, I invented new exercises, I had the highest standard, and I won more championships than anyone. He goes, where could you be outside the ring, whether you're a pet groomer or stockbroker or insurance sales executive, and had a higher standard than your competition too? And I leaned in and says, but be honest, didn't it hurt being in a fight? He goes, yeah, it hurts. He goes, it hurts real bad. But when you're in the fight, you don't focus on the pain. You don't focus on the blows. As soon as you focus on the pain, where do you think you end up? On your back, knocked out. He goes, but that's what people do outside the ring. They focus on the gas prices and the war and the economy. And they wonder why they never become a champion in their own quest. And then he pulled me in tight and says, you know what the funny thing is? When you do win the championship, says everyone comes to their feet and they chant your name. They raise your hand in victory and a guy puts a big shiny belt around your waist. And at that moment, at that second, you don't feel even one of the punches you took along the journey. But the guy in the losing locker room is going to feel every bruise, wishing they had a higher standard. Question for you is this: are you ready to up your game? Would you like to know the single most important step towards all personal achievement? Of course you would, and it comes down to one word: Those who actually apply and live this message are the people that separate themselves from the 95% who just dream of success to that top 5% that actually achieve it. And I'm talking about success financially, prosperity. I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about health and wellness. What is that word? Confidence. That's right, confidence. Fact is, if you do not believe that you deserve to be successful, chances are you will not be. That's why if you go and Google lottery winners that lose their money, you'll see that majority end up in a very short period right back to where they began. And why is that? Because they didn't believe that they deserved to have that success thrown upon them. And also you see these sports icons that get these multi-million-dollar contracts a few years later right back where they began. Why? Again, they didn't believe that they actually deserved to have that. So confidence is the single factor of all achievement. Those who sit there and believe will ultimately achieve. And the easiest way to improve your confidence is to start faking it till you make it. You've heard the cliche 1,000 times, and it's true. Give yourself daily motivational pep talks. Remember that video you see on the internet with the little girl in front of the mirror saying, "I am special, I am great"? Well, guess what? If you keep saying that to yourself over and over, eventually you become just that. It is a simple process. Look, the fact that you're just watching this means that you are ready. You are destined to have something great come into your life. The question is, are you ready to accept it? Give yourself the confidence and say to yourself that this is my time. I'm drawing the line right here. Give it to me, world, and see what just comes your direction. Keep smiling.